What if I told you that May 2026 is packed with some of the most anticipated series of the entire year? We're talking Marvel superheroes returning with a vengeance. Yellowstone's legacy expanding to new territory, a dark detective thriller straight from Scandinavia, and a sci-fi nightmare brought to life by the creators of Stranger Things. From hidden gems to massive blockbuster productions, this month's streaming lineup is impossible to ignore. Whether you're into crime, mystery, horror, or action, there is something on this list made exactly for you. But before we begin, it would mean the world to me if you took a second to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. 11. The Revenge Club. 6 strangers walk into a divorce support group, and what they walk out with is something nobody expected. They each carry a wound, a broken home, a stolen life, a humiliation they never got to answer. And instead of moving on, they make a deal. A secret alliance. A pact built not on healing, but on revenge. What starts as venting over bad coffee quietly transforms into something far more dangerous and darkly hilarious. The writing is sharp, the characters are flawed in fascinating ways, and every episode makes you feel like you are in on a secret the rest of the world has not figured out yet. It sneaks up on you one moment you are laughing, the next you are leaning forward wondering how far they will go. The ensemble cast is balanced, each member bringing a different kind of anger, a different story, a different reason to stay in that room. Nobody here is entirely innocent. Nobody is entirely guilty either. Perfect for fans of slow burn comedies that are not afraid to bite. If you have ever wanted justice and got nothing, this group might speak your language. Available on BritBox starting May 7th. 10. The Terror. Devil in Silver Season 3. A psychiatric hospital in the modern day. Locked doors, fluorescent lights that hum just a little too loud, and something that should not exist walking the hallways at night. Dan Stevens leads this 3rd chapter of an anthology series that has always known how to use dread as a slow and deliberate poison. The setting strips away everything familiar, no frozen tundra, no historical mystery, and replaces it with the suffocating claustrophobia of a place where no one believes you even when you are telling the truth. Patients see things. Staff dismisses them. Reports get filed and quickly forgotten. Whatever lurks in the dark keeps coming back, patient and deliberate, as if it knows exactly how much time it has. What makes this season compelling is not the creature, it is the question of who gets believed and who gets silenced. The horror here is not just supernatural, it is institutional. The slow erosion of trust in a place supposed to keep you safe, where screaming for help and being ignored are two sides of the same terrible coin. Frightening in ways that stay with you after the screen goes dark. Premieres May 7th on AMC+. 9. The Chestnut Man. Hide and Seek. The little chestnut dolls are gone, but the danger is back, and this time, it lives in your phone. Detectives Naya Thulin and Mark Hess return in this 6-episode Danish sequel that trades physical terror for something arguably more unsettling. The horror of digital stalking. A woman vanishes without a trace. Her disappearance slowly connects to a cold case nobody wanted to revisit. And what the investigation uncovers is a web that runs far deeper than any algorithm should allow. Nordic noir has always excelled at making ordinary places feel unbearable, and this installment understands that better than most. The pacing is deliberate and precise. The tension builds without explosions or cheap twists. Every revelation feels earned rather than manufactured for shock. What makes this season particularly effective is how it weaponizes the technology most of us carry everywhere, the devices we trust, the networks we depend on, the digital trails we leave without thinking. If the original season left you unnerved and looking over your shoulder, this continuation manages to find something even more intimate to threaten. A masterclass in restrained, intelligent crime storytelling that respects both its characters and its audience. 8. Good Omens Series Finale Special. Every story has to end, even one that started at the very beginning of time. Aziraphale and Crowley, an angel and a demon who somehow became the universe's most unlikely friendship, finally get their goodbye in this 90-minute farewell special. For fans who have followed their cosmic misadventures since the apocalypse that never quite happened, this is the closing chapter that addresses the questions left hanging at the end of Season 2. The tone remains exactly what made the series beloved. Warm, witty, and deeply human in all the ways that angels and demons are not supposed to be. It does not go out screaming. It does not reach for empty spectacle when quiet would do so much more. It goes out with elegance, a little sadness, and the unmistakable feeling that these two characters deserved every minute they spent choosing each other over their respective sides. There is something rare about a series that knows when it is time to stop, and rarer still about one that earns its ending rather than simply arriving at it. A proper farewell for a love story disguised as the end of the world. 7. Devil May Cry, Season 2. Brothers separated by fate. A battle that has been building since they shared the same blood, the same face, and then chose entirely different paths. Dante returns in this second anime season, and this time the conflict is personal in a way that makes everything that came before look like a warm-up. The relationship at the very core of this story drives every frame with an intensity that fans of the source material have been waiting years to see fully realized in animation. The action choreography is brutal, creative, and precisely executed. The visual style remains absolutely stunning, rich with detail and movement that rewards close attention. The mythology surrounding the demon world expands in meaningful ways without losing sight of the emotional story at the center. This is not a series made exclusively for fans of the games. This is for anyone who appreciates beautifully crafted animated storytelling where the stakes feel genuinely high and the characters carry real weight. Action without consequence gets boring fast. This show understands that better than almost anything else in the genre right now. One of the strongest anime releases of the year so far. 6. Maximum pleasure guaranteed. A very wrong decisions pulls her deep into something she absolutely did not sign up for. Blackmail, murder, a conspiracy that grows more absurd and more dangerous with every passing episode, layered in ways that keep you guessing far longer than you expect. What elevates this well beyond the typical dark comedy is Maslany herself, who brings an energy that makes every miscalculation feel simultaneously terrifying and oddly funny. The show walks a razor-thin line between cringe and chaos, and it almost never loses its footing. It trusts the audience to follow a character who keeps making things worse, who keeps digging when she should stop and somehow makes you root for her anyway, even when you know better. The humor is dry. The danger is real. And the combination of both creates a tone that is genuinely difficult to find anywhere else right now. Layered, unpredictable, and entertaining in the best kind of uncomfortable way. 5. Rivals, Season 2. Power, scandal, and ambition dressed in 1980s shoulder pads. David Tennant is back as Tony Battingham, charming, ruthless, and absolutely certain that the world exists entirely for his benefit. The second season escalates the corporate and social warfare of the first, adding new players in the form of Haley Atwell and Rupert Everett, who both arrive with their own agendas, their own histories, and zero patience for losing. The era is rendered with that particular kind of excess that makes the 1980s feel simultaneously entertaining and deeply troubling. A world where status is everything and cruelty is just another tool in the arsenal. Every scene feels like a negotiation. Every conversation has a subtext. Every alliance is temporary until it is not. What the show does best is make you enjoy spending time with people you probably should not admire, and then make you think about why that is. The performances are sharp across the board. The period detail is immaculate, and the pacing never lets you settle into comfort for too long before pulling the rug out from under you. One of the most addictive and consistently surprising dramas you will find this month. 4. Berlin, Season 2. Paris was just the beginning. Now he moves south to Seville, to sun-drenched plazas where old grudges sit quietly in the shade, patiently waiting to finally be settled. The Berlin prequel returns for its second season with a heist that is less about money and far more about settling a score that should have been settled long ago. Someone has something that does not belong to them. And he is not coming alone this time. What this series understands so clearly about its central character is that he was never simply a villain. He was a man operating by a code that most people could not read or simply refused to try. Season 2 leans deeply into that complexity, balancing European elegance with the constant low tension of a plan that could unravel at any moment. The cinematography of southern Spain does real work here. Golden light pouring over ancient stone, beauty used deliberately as a backdrop for something morally complicated. The crew dynamics are volatile in the best way. The personal stakes this season give the whole operation an emotional gravity, the Paris storyline. Entertaining as it was, never fully reached. 3. Dutton Ranch. The Duttons do not retreat. They relocate, regroup, and come back with something to prove. Beth and Rip leave Montana behind and sink their roots into 7,000 acres of South Texas. A new land, a different climate, and a whole new set of enemies who clearly did not get the memo about what happens when you push this family past its limit. Ed Harris and Annette Bening enter the story as rivals worthy of the name, matching Beth and Rip with the kind of screen presence that makes every scene feel like a negotiation conducted at gunpoint. The stakes are familiar, but the landscape is not. And that geographical shift does something genuinely interesting to the dynamic. It strips away nostalgia and forces the characters to fight for something they have not yet had time to love. This is not a victory lap. This is not a nostalgia play designed to coast on what came before. This is a continuation with real teeth, with characters who have earned their complexity, and a story unafraid to go somewhere unexpected. For everyone who felt the absence Yellowstone left behind, this fills it completely. 2. The Boroughs. What would you do if something was stealing your time, not your focus, not your energy, but actual hours of your life, quietly taken in the night without your knowledge? A retirement community in New Mexico. A group of elderly residents who slowly begin to notice something is deeply, undeniably wrong. Things go missing. Familiar routines break down. Explanations stop making sense. Alfred Molina, Gina Davis, Alfre Woodard, and a remarkable cast of screen legends anchor this production created by Jeffrey Addis and Will Matthews, and executive produced by the Duffer Brothers, bringing the same rare instinct for hiding real, emotional, weight inside genre storytelling that made Stranger Things impossible to forget. The creature at the center of the mystery is alien and unsettling in the precise way it operates. But what lingers long after each episode is the idea underneath. The fear of losing time, of arriving at the end of your life and discovering that something took pieces of it you never got to keep. That is not just horror. That is grief. That is the very specific terror of running out of something irreplaceable. And this show makes you feel every second of it. 1. Spider Noir. New York, 1930s. Rain-slicked streets, jazz bleeding through cracked walls, and a man in a mask who has seen too much to believe the world can be saved only survived. Nicolas Cage plays Ben Reilly, a veteran investigator navigating a city that runs entirely on corruption, where the enemies he faces are genuine forces of destruction embedded deep in the structure of organized crime. Every backroom deal, every body quietly found in the river, every politician who looks the other way and says absolutely nothing, it all connects back to something much larger. The show can be watched in full color or entirely in black and white, a choice that sounds like a gimmick until you actually try the monochrome version and realize it transforms the whole experience into something cinematic in a way that is both intentional and deeply stunning. Mature, unhurried, and completely committed to its own aesthetic vision. This is a superhero story that earns the right to be called something else entirely. It trusts the audience to sit with something darker, slower, and stranger than what they are used to. The most anticipated series of the month. And that wraps up our list of the best series coming to streaming in May 2026. From alien monsters quietly stealing time from retirees in New Mexico, to Nicolas Cage channeling a 1930s spider detective through rain-soaked streets, this month truly delivers something for every kind of viewer. If you found a show or two worth adding to your watch list, go ahead and leave your like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video like this one. Your support keeps this channel going, and it means more than you know. See you in the next one.